hello. Um, so I think it's been 2 days, but I said, sorry for the background noise. We're getting some work done on our house. But yeah, didn't record the last 2 days because I didn't practice the last 2 days. Honestly, I wish I had a better excuse for it, but just kind of let my responsibilities and my lack of discipline, I guess, get the best of me. But got a good workout in today. I felt very flat, but I felt strong, which is not normally something that I've felt in the past. But I had what was it, like 155 for 5 on squat, so that was pretty solid day for squats, considering I don't really squat too heavy, but it didn't feel bad and I felt like I was moving it well. And then afterwards I did some isometric work, and then like for my knees, just to try to get some strength back in my patellar tendon and injury prevention, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish I had a better excuse for the last couple of days, but I don't. I don't really feel like I was even that productive either. I kind of coached and let my day get away from me. But I don't know. It's a tough one to kind of rationalize in my head. But yeah, what's going on? There we go. But yeah, I mean, nothing really changes for now. It's just back to work and keep getting shit done. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about things to say whenever I was in the weight room today in my downtime, because it was just me in the weight room, and I don't know. I think social media for me, it was the one thing I was thinking about. But like, social media is such like a love-hate relationship for me, because for me, like, I don't like recognition, praise, anything like that for track. But I also would like to achieve a lot, and normally with achievement comes praise, and people want to people normally give you attention if you're passionate and you're good at something, right? But it's kind of hard whenever the thing that you love to do becomes your job, and I think it was like maybe a stress thing, maybe a anxiety thing, but I don't know, these last 2 days, I really wish I had a better excuse, but I mean, just being completely honest, like, I just kind of didn't do it. But today was not bad. Had a pretty solid weight room session, and I'm feeling pretty good. Like, my body doesn't hurt. Funnily enough, it actually felt shittier on Wednesday and Thursday than it did today, which makes no sense, because normally you'd think if you're up and doing something and your body is getting beat down, then you'd feel worse afterwards. But Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday, I just felt awful. Like, my body hurt. Maybe that was the reason why, but just not doing anything, I feel like makes you worse off than actually just getting up and doing something. But my friend and a fellow javelin thrower, Liz Gleedle, she put it in a really good way one time whenever, I think I was looking at her Instagram story, but she was like, for me, whenever I don't want to do something, I at least go there, show up, and warm up, right? Because if you still feel shitty after warming up, then maybe it's a good sign that you shouldn't do that, right? But I think showing up half the time is the battle, right? But then once you get in the habit of showing up, then it's a constant improvement. But yeah, just didn't show up, and unfortunately, that's the reality of where I'm at right now. And I don't think it's a lack of motivation, probably a lack of discipline. But I mean, I never made this. I never wanted to do this like video training log for any other reason than being honest, right? And I don't want y'all to think that I'm some guy who is perfect and does everything right all of the time, because I'm not. And I don't think that anybody is, to be completely honest. If anybody tells you that they're doing everything right, then they're probably lying. Other than maybe a select like 1% of people in the world. And I'm sorry if y'all can hear that, that's pretty loud. But I'm gonna shut my window real quick, I'll be right back. That's a little better. But yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing though, for me in my situation, is not necessarily worrying about what I should have done, but it's worrying about what I can do moving forward. And yeah, I'm like I said, obviously disappointed in myself, because it's one of those things where like I kind of missed 3 days of training this week, if you count Tuesday, but I guess you can kind of count that as cross training. But regardless, it is what it is. That is loud. I hope it's not as loud on here, but I'm sure it will be. So we'll survive. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been alone for the last couple days, so I've done a lot of thinking about what I want and where I want to be. But the one positive over the last couple days is that I've been really good with my diet. Like, I've been eating very healthy, and my weight's been reflecting that. I've been waking up pretty consistently around like 243, 242. And I think 2 pounds a week is pretty reasonable for me to lose. Like, it's not like I'm, hating myself every time I wake up in the morning, or that I'm like, dying at practice or anything. I am tired today because I didn't get the best sleep last night, but tomorrow I've been coaching too. I think I've talked about that, but I've been coaching too. So I coached yesterday, and I think this week has been harder to find balance with everything that I've been doing, but I'm making the most of it. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I feel like I have like a very monotone attitude today, but I mean, it is what it is. What did I want to talk about? There was another thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, piggybacking more on that social media thing, but there's a lot of things out there that I've noticed that people want to make it seem like they're living a better life or doing better things than they are, right? Like, how many times do you see somebody who actually, I'll backtrack on that. How many times do you see people that are just obviously posting things to get like interactions with it? Like, posting videos or making statements that are just going to make people go wild in the comments, and rather than posting things that are actually genuinely beneficial for people to learn from. Like, they'd rather post like inflammatory things than things that are actually going to help people, right? I feel like we're kind of running into that more now, at least from what I've seen, and I think it's kind of starting to seep its way into the track world, which I really don't like. But like SportsCenter, they'll post something that's obviously gonna fire people up, and then people go crazy over it in the comments, right? And then, or like Barstool Sports will post something, right? Or and then you kind of get these like influencers that realize that like, oh, if I want to get if I want to gain traction, I need people to argue in my comments, right? So they take a hard stance on something and they'll disagree with the majority and do all this stuff, and like it just eventually gets to this point where it's not even like it's not beneficial. It's just detrimental for everybody who's involved, because they're wasting their time and energy arguing about something that probably doesn't matter, or if it does matter, they're not getting their information from an educated source. They're getting it from Instagram comments, where I don't know. It's just I'm struggling to. Maybe I'm in hater mode today, but I'm really struggling with rationalizing how people can just like trick people into engaging with the things that they post, right? I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a rant about that, but I just hope that, you know, people aren't falling into the trap of, you know, not realizing that like people are doing this on purpose. You know, like I've unfollowed so many accounts, SportsCenter included, because I just can't handle all of the negativity that I see with all of those like posts that they're making and the people's reactions to them. Like, what are you supposed to do, you know, other than just remove yourself from that situation? And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be an adult about things, and it's not always easy, and I feel like we're very emotional creatures, you know, humans, and it's not always easy to keep your head out of the places that it shouldn't be, right? It's very easy to fall into like social media holes of like looking at people arguing in the comments, like, oh, I'm gonna get the popcorn, right? Like, why does it matter? What do these two people's opinions have that are benefiting you in any way? Like, it's just drama. And I think that for me, I've been really trying to be very cognizant of pulling myself away from, you know, unnecessary stress and unnecessary drama. Like, I like movies, I like TV shows, and like I'll get my fill with those, right? But if something is not like directly affecting me in some way, why should I waste my energy on it, right? And if it's not something that I can control, you have no reason even worrying about it. Not even thinking about it. Like, you just gotta accept it at that point. But the only thing that you can control in any situation is your attitude and your actions, right? But for me, like, I'm not trying to say that I'm a perfect human being. Like, obviously, I just said I skipped the last 2 days because of my own like shortcomings, right? And I'm not gonna act like I didn't. But there are people that'll say that they are natural athletes, right? And they're obviously on steroids. There'll be people that'll say that they, you know, train 7 times a week, 2 times a day, right? Or 7 days a week, 2 times a day, right? That's not reasonable. And if they are training, then they're giving you these crazy workouts that they're doing, like, they're probably not doing them. Like, they just say that because they get people to engage with the things that they're posting, because it's so outlandishly crazy to think that they would, you know? And I don't know, I just think that as great as social media is to like bring people, like, I can't tell you how many people that I've interacted with in the track and field world because of social media, right? But at the same time, how many of us, and I'm included on this, how many of us have, you know, a ridiculous amount of screen time just shoved into some kind of social media, right? Like, we're constantly taking in information, and most of the time, I'd say probably 95% of the time, that information doesn't matter. But being aware of that and changing it is, you know, gonna get you better in the long run. This has just kind of been a rant today. I haven't really had a lot going on, so I've had a lot on my mind. I've been the only one in this house for the last, what is it? So everybody left on Tuesday, so I've had the house to myself for since Tuesday. So this is Friday. So I've had like 4 days to myself to just think, and these are my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not unhappy though. You know, I feel like I've been kind of bitter today, and I don't know if I like that, but I hope I don't come across as bitter. You know, I just think that, you know, sometimes it's really hard to notice things that are happening right in front of you if you're not aware of what's really happening, right? And I think that, you know, we all can maybe benefit from looking at things a little more critically than we do, you know? But I don't know. I'm probably gonna post a video tomorrow. I will post a video tomorrow, and talk more. But I gotta make up for the 2 days that I missed, and this is a long one today. So I've just kind of been bitching at this camera for the last 16 minutes and 15 seconds. So yeah, thanks for listening. I hope that the background noise wasn't too bad, and if it was, sorry. Talk to you tomorrow.